What is going on, Angels? The Champ Strider here, and today we're going to dive into Escape from Tarkov a little bit, and I have an attachment that I don't see a lot of people running that really helps you out with your Hipfire or your pointfire, and we're just going to go over a little bit of the mechanics in Tarkov to help you guys win some more fights. And Tarkov is one of my favorite games of all time, but it's really unique, and the meta and how to play it and how to fight is a bit different than any other game out there. And it's really hard if you're coming in as a new player or you have a lot of time in a different game to get used to the fact that you don't need to ADS all the time. And trust me, it has taken me forever to break the habit of ADSing in every fight. Today I want to go over the tactical lasers, which basically just puts a red dot in front of you wherever your mouse is pointing so that you can hip fire accurately in-game. And on both of the guns I demonstrate with, I'm using the NC Star Tactical Blue Laser, and you can get this from Skier level 2, but there's a few different lasers, and they're all pretty decent. And the reason I know a lot of people don't run these tactical lasers is because I have kind of a weird play style that I don't like, or actually I haven't bought any of my own gear this whole wipe, so I only use guns, vests, helmets, headsets, and backpacks that I've taken from people, so I know this is not a meta play style. But I like to have fun and kind of switch up my guns and my equipment. So if you look at my disaster of an inventory right now, which is actually not too bad with how it has been, but I have all guns and just vests and stuff that I've taken from people, and I just kind of hoard them. So I get to see a lot of how other people mod their guns, and very few people actually add the lasers or the flashlights to them. So we're just going to hop in a bot lobby on Factory real quick so I can show what the laser does and just kind of show how you can fight with it a little bit. So most games that you probably came over from before you played Tarkov, hip firing is really weak, and if you want to get any sort of accuracy in your gun, you have to ADS. But Tarkov's a lot different, and there's no like weird hip fire cone where your gun's pointing at the enemy, but your bullets are hitting the ceiling. Tarkov is different. In Tarkov, wherever the gun is pointing is where the bullet's gonna go. There's no hip fire cone. So the only thing you're really getting for increased accuracy if you're using an optic is that kind of visual indicator of where your bullet is going to hit. And in Tarkov, it's not like Call of Duty where you have a hip fire dot or something, and in a stressful situation, it can be kind of hard to shoot accurately from the hip, and a lot of people then want to ADS, and that time it takes to ADS is what gets them killed in a lot of fight head-eyes. And I know people are going to try like the monitor hipfire dot or like put in the old school Sharpie in the middle of the screen, but that doesn't work for Tarkov because the gun is not in the actual center of the screen, and it also, if you look around, it sways, so it's not going to go where the hipfire dot is. The only really way to be sure where the bullet is going to go is to turn your laser on with T. And look now, I have this visual indicator, just like having an optic, of where my bullet is going to go about. If you look, it's pretty goddamn accurate. Like, the only real drawback to using this is that, of course, it can be a visual indicator to an enemy that there's someone coming, but you can just turn it on and off with T and kind of get a feel for when to use it. And I know people hate it, but hip firing is so important in Tarkov right now because the meta is kind of just 80 spam around an enemy and just mag dump on them. So I know it's not too realistic, but that's how most people are playing, so you kind of got to either adapt to that AD spam or die. I just want to point out quick, if you guys have a scope on your gun, like a 1 to 6 times, like I have on this M4 right now, it can be a little weird when you're ADS to stay locked on someone with a scope, because it just blocks so much of your peripheral vision. So you're better off kind of staying hip-fired in those close range fights, and it's just so much nicer to have that little hip-fire dot to point on and just get right on someone and burn them down. And I think a reason why a lot of people don't run these lasers is because they cheap out, but it's only like 6,000 rubles, which is virtually nothing, and it's super easy to make money in this gun, and people will put 100k plus into making a meta weapon and not run a laser, which makes no sense. Just put the extra 5,000, 6,000 rubles into getting the laser on it so that you have a chance of winning more fights and making it out alive with that gun. And if you want to get some extra practice with your point firing, you can go into Raid, click the offline mode, enable PvP, and then you can add bots at any difficulty you want. I'm going to throw some easy ones on, and I'm going to put Horde so I can just run in and shoot real quick. And And this is a great way to kind of get some practice or familiarity with point firing and try to break those habits of ADSing every time you fight. Now, once you get in raid, you just start running around, point fire only, and find some NPCs. And then as you get comfortable, you can just start turning the laser off and running around and getting used to hip firing without it. Alright guys, I hope this was helpful, and start putting the 6,000 rubles to work and get yourself a laser. It'll really help you guys with your point firing, and I know we all need to break that habit of ADSing every time we see someone. And if it's your first time here in the channel, become an angel by hitting the subscribe button. I release FPS content every single week, and you don't want to miss it. Champ, out.